Talk to him.
Classic codes, I ain't taking it slow. Forgive me, Lord, I woke up in that mode. Whether the winters were left in the cold.
Let me come to the ring, man. Let's get it.
Fighting out of the southpaw stance. Standing at 6'2", 190 pounds. I give you, boy, I'm made different. I work too hard. Ain't no way I ain't getting paid different. This from the dirt, this from the mud. You ain't slave with me. This was strictly for my homies that was brave with me. You can't come in with me now if you ain't came with me. Skull looking at you side eye if you ain't with me. I seen a couple people try and it ain't in prison. I only keep the people around that stood on 10 with me. And if they start to stand on 9, that's where it end with me.
Talk.
In quickly. In the way I level up, I make them spin differently. I should start a foundation. They be make a wish in me. I got these hoes in the fringe. They can't seem to get to me. Babe, I done mastered discipline. It take more than booty.
What up? What up? What up? What up? Yo, it's Classic with the classic codes. And we had another live today, man. Another live show. I got a great one for y'all. But before we get into it, you know, I got some duties for y'all to follow, man. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and turn on the notifications as well, man. Make sure you active in that chat. This is an interactive situation. And always, if you catching me on the playback, drop a comment so we can have a conversation, whether you agree or disagree, because we got to crack these codes, man. But I got another great live show for y'all, man. Let me show y'all the artwork again, man. The thumbnail king is back, man. What jobs don't you date? We got a live reaction video to kick everything off. Then we switching over into the question of the day. We're going to finish out with the code language conversation, and then we'll get into some chat Q&A. It's all up to y'all. So, yeah, man, we got a great show lined up for the next hour and some change. Like, again, it's up to y'all. So as long as y'all here, let's get it going, man. So let me log back in. If y'all can hear me, put a 333 in the chat, man. Shout out to everybody that's sliding through from Instagram. You know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all active in the chat. I know Instagram got a slight delay, so if you make a comment, be patient. I'm going to get to you, and that's a fact. 333 if y'all hear me clear in the chat, man. Mic check, mic check. We finna pull in the we about to pull in the reaction video to get everything started off and get warmed up, man. My bad for not being live for a couple days. I know I've been feeding the streets crazy, but had a crazy weekend. We'll get into it on the back end of the episode, though. For sure, for sure. We'll get into it. Let me pull up the live video, man. So we got a live here where they talking about red flag professions, right? So like which job fields notoriously breed like bust downs, you know what I mean? So they talking about red flag professions. This the Anton Daniels after hour cast. Make sure y'all tap in with Anton Daniels. I'll put the link to his channel in the description of this. But make sure y'all tap in with him. So I'm gonna do a live reaction to this. We're gonna get warmed up, and then we'll switch over into all the interactive stuff. Make sure y'all dropping comments if y'all got some feedback on this as well. I'll post them all, read them all, and we could talk about it, man. Let's go.
Well, he cheated on her.
What did she do? Like, who is she? Where'd she come from?
She's an ESPN not analyst, but she's a host of the show. I'm sorry, Fox Sports. She's a host. She co-hosts shows on Fox Sports.
JD, what up in the chat?
You can't tell me a woman that's in that arena hasn't come past or come in contact or married or dated the guy that she wanted. She was too busy doing whatever she wanted to do.
They don't want her. They don't want her. It's just like
no. They don't want her maybe now, but you can't tell me that she hasn't.
I don't think it matters. Listen, let's be honest. Joy Taylor is still decent looking. All right, she's really nice. Knowing what she does for a living and all of the type of people that she's around on a regular basis, I don't know what guy could actually be like, you know what? I'm okay with being in a relationship with you with the spaces that you're in. Like a straight up.
But see, the thing is, so they talking about Joy Taylor and her job field or whatever, as you know, leaning into this conversation. But they saying like with her being an NBA analyst and like a broadcaster, she constantly around multi-millionaire men. You know, she still got some good looks about her, even though, you know, she up in like her mid to upper 30s, I think. But she still, you know, look good and everything. And they just saying like, how could a guy outside of those spaces, you know, date her in a serious capacity knowing the type of men that she around on a regular basis. Well, see, if you say something like that in a realistic way, because that's a great point to bring up, right? But if you say something like that, it'll get weaponized against you, and they'll say like, "Oh, you just got to be secure." But what's, is it an insecurity or is it a valid concern? Let's continue.
Niggas, she's around successful niggas every day.
That's what I'm saying. What I just can't. I don't know what guy would be able to take her serious like that. Slimmy, what do you think about that?
She a bust down.
Slimmy, do you think that women that work in certain spaces by default are bust downs?
I'm not gonna say they all are, but
For the most part.
For the most part, yeah.
Name 3 occupations that are bust downs.
I can name.
I'm not gonna do that.
He gonna
Hey chat. Name a couple jobs where if your woman worked those jobs, nine times out of 10, she cheating. Name a few jobs, chat.
say you too.
No, I was never gonna say that, but I'm not gonna do that.
Truck driver.
Facts. Harlot.
Entertainment. I mean, it just is what it is.
Nurse.
Why are you smirking, Kim?
You know why? I'm just waiting.
Bus driver.
Bartender. If your girl a bartender, somebody gonna infiltrate them defenses one day, gang. I promise you that. I don't care how many Thursdays you pop up there.
Y'all gonna leave me alone.
And
Nobody said nothing.
you about to say stewardess.
You're not a truck driver.
Stewardess is not a word.
What are they called?
They're flight attendants.
Stewardess.
I wouldn't
Flight
know.
attendant
They're not on this list of people that y'all are coming up with. So
They mean totally 2 different things.
So let me
Look it
do the CDL workers cheat a lot?
I don't.
CDL workers? What the
Yeah,
fuck?
meaning the men and women that have CDLs.
Well,
what kind of license you have to do with
that's
anything?
That's a vast.
You can be a bus driver to go home to your wife every night.
That's a vast.
You need a
That's
lot
a
of
vast
people on a
group.
bus. What are you talking about?
But that's a
Awesome.
vast group.
Nigga,
Yeah,
the elementary
but
school
the bus,
nigga.
but the bus people, the people that drive the bus,
I'm talking about for the public. I'm sorry. For the public.
They are like
CDL, nigga. You said
they are
CDL
they are looked at as out here.
You gotta have like a CDL like driver like a hazmat truck and stuff. Like
Yeah, that's what I
Oh
was.
my god. I
it's
forgot
like
I
a-
have to be like
it's a vast-
so
it's a commercial driver's license.
y'all giving flight attendants a bad rap over there in them comments.
We stopped talking about it.
No, they not giving flight attendants a bad rap. Don't. No, you a flight attendant. Shorty. All that moving and grooving. Yeah.
I think flight attendants gave themselves a bad rap.
Bingo.
How so? How many?
They got the
the
reputation. They got the reputation.
But who has a personal flight attendant story? Most people don't even know flight attendants personally.
I know one. I know a couple.
Okay.
And they don't do anything. They don't do anything weird. I think they're all on the up and up.
Bullshit.
Ugh.
I think we should say pilots. Take it off flight attendants and put it on pilots.
No, flight attendants.
No, I see a lot of pilots that go straight to their hotels and they go to sleep.
Bullshit.
I
Bullshit,
see pilots
nigga.
every day. I'm here to tell you that's not how it goes.
Yeah, I was trying to be nice. See, y'all don't
Uh-huh.
want to do that.
What up, chat? What up, 333? If you with me, we doing a reaction. We talking about what jobs are a red flag for dating. Like what jobs notoriously produce, promiscuous people. Let's roll.
I got a best friend.
Damn,
He's
is it
probably
more?
not-
So wait.
he
Is
get
it
more ass
more?
than panties.
Is it more women that are in professions? Is it more professions than not that women are in that are red flags? I just think
no,
that
I think
Mhm.
it's just the money, Anton. If you're a woman, if you're a woman adjacent to men with money, that's the only time it
I don't think
really.
so.
No, hell no. I think it's just women in the workforce in general. If your woman don't work in a job where it's like mostly women all day, every day, like if she in a beauty salon and she got a suite and it's like her and 4 other beauticians and it's all females, you know what I'm saying? Like it's it still could happen. You know what I mean? They gonna have some male clients sliding through there and stuff like that. But it's less traffic, it's less temptation. But honestly, I'll narrow it down to just women in the workforce in general. Like I would narrow it down to that because I'd worked plenty of different jobs in my life. And if there's women and men working in the same place for all those hours, they fucking. They fucking. I don't get what y'all don't get. So like you could say, oh, nurses are bust downs or flight attendants or bartenders, like shit, women with jobs. Like when I worked in retail, there was employees fraternizing. When I worked in, sales, there were employees fraternizing. When I like, when I worked seasonal summer jobs in college, there were employees fraternizing. So I don't even think it's a particular job. I think when you put women around men all day, you know what I'm saying? Like eventually they start looking good to each other. Ash, what up in the chat? 333. What up, Ash? Yeah, we talking about right now we talking about what jobs are red flags for dating? Like what professions produce like the most promiscuous people? Let's continue.
No, that's cap because the women at the factories,
Yeah.
they
Facts.
go
I was gonna say that.
Oh, it's women at factories?
factories, they go.
Yeah, they go.
What women at factories?
Yeah, they going. What'd he say? JD said, like, thank you for your candor, but your people you interview don't respect our covenant at all. And womanly reason to leave is too much attention. If you want more out of your career, we are over to respond to earlier. Thank you for your candor, but your people you interview don't respect our covenant at all. And a womanly reason to leave is too much attention. If you want more out of your career, we are over. Okay, I'm not sure how to digest all of that, JD, but yeah, I'm not sure how to digest all that, bro. I think I get what you mean. Ash said stripper jobs equal red flag. Yeah. I mean, I feel like Ash, I feel like that's more than obvious. You know what I mean? Even though there are you playing the lottery, but there's a small percentage of dancers that actually do have like a real mission in mind and they literally use the club like for its purpose. They go get that fast money, they maintain their integrity, they don't get caught up messing with dudes out the club, and they in and out with it. Quick little 3-5 year run and they gone. Like there are some small percentage, but again, you playing a lottery ticket. But there are some dancers that do stick to the script in that way. And when they say they wasn't on that, they really mean it. Now, how you distinguish them from the 97% that got a horror story or two, you feel me? Or a hotel or two, I don't know how you distinguish. I'm gonna be real. I don't know how you tell the difference, but I know they exist. But a lot of people out here like playing the lottery. You know what I'm saying? They like narrowing down their criteria to a cult like small niche group of people, and they feel like they're gonna bump into the one. You know what I mean? Let's roll though.
They getting
All of
bust
them.
All of them.
down.
Hold on, hey, listen to me very carefully. They be
Wow.
fucking in the parking lot.
Yes, they
Facts.
do. Yes,
They
they
be
do.
fucking in the
I
parking
didn't
lot.
know women be in factories. Excuse
Yes,
me.
they
At
do.
least
Oh,
flight
yeah.
attendants are in hotels.
I could tell you the Amazon is
He said they be hitting in the parking lot, in the building, gang. The parking lot. Where you live? Slimmy in Ohio. They get winter out there. They're not always going outside, trap. No. They get to it in the building. Yes, Lord.
It's a certain Amazon around the corner from me that they had to put up lights in the parking lot because after the third row, that's where people would go to clap cheeks because there was no lights. There was no lights in the parking lot.
I would say customer service.
They up there handling more than packages, y'all. They handling more than packages, chat. They handling business. Let's roll.
Women.
I think waitresses.
Basically, y'all
bust
saying
downs.
This is
all
what y'all
women,
are saying
all
with
jobs.
women.
All women,
Women
all
with
jobs.
jobs are bust downs.
Molly, that's the fucking.
Whoa, Ash. Whoa. You said other than that, no job is a red flag, especially if it pays bills. So you saying stripper is the only red flag job? You lying to me. You lying to me. That's the only one? Have you, Ash, have you? No. Chat, we got to give her a chance to respond. Have you worked in an office? Any type of office? I don't care if it was a call center, a law office, any office. Have you worked in a co-ed office environment where there are bosses and frontline employees and secretaries and HR? And if you've worked in an office, then you know. Oh, you know. And if you've been to a company Christmas party, then you definitely know. No. Stripper is not the only red flag job. I gotta disagree with you, Ash, on that. Respectfully, of course. She said, yes, I have worked in the office. Now, what's your definition of a red flag? A red flag is if your partner works this particular profession, it's a high probability that one day, someday, they're gonna cheat on your ass out of work. Somehow. That's a red flag profession. So if your partner is a bartender and they end up cheating on you one time for the one time with somebody they met at the bar. That job, if they work on a construction site with 99% dudes, then it's, low chance for you, right? For us, if a woman works in a hair salon that, is mostly women and they service 90-something% women, low risk. You know what I mean? She said, okay, I came in late. Okay, you with me now. All right, because I was like, hold on. I disagree with that. All right, let's roll, y'all.
That bitch got a job.
I'm just kidding.
I know you're
I'm
not.
with you on that one, though,
Someone
Molly.
with
I'll take
jobs
it.
go to work and they go home.
I don't see.
See,
listen,
Molly, that's all the
Yes.
more reason to take the woman out of the workforce.
I looked in the chat and it looks like almost every single job that a woman could do, they name that shit.
What'd you say, Anton?
I said I looked in the chat and it seemed like every single job that a woman can do, they name that shit.
Yeah, anytime.
That's what I said. Women working around men, that many hours. You tell. I don't listen. She might have been a 5 to you when you started there. 6 months in, she started looking like a 7, 7.5, 8.
I'm a woman go away from the house.
The police. Remember that woman, that white chick was busting it down for the whole police department? Yep.
Police officer.
And then she was still the victim.
Somehow.
Yeah. I remember that. Ash said, if that's the case, then every job is, especially if it's a male and female working together. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's why some men like they women to be at home. They don't like they women working no job. Because, they feel like at that, that work husband thing, that work wife thing, people really be doing that for real. Now, how far they take it, you can't put that on everybody. Because some people really do just keep it friendly, lightly flirty, and stay right there at the boundary and don't cross it. Now, what percentage of them stay right there at that boundary and don't cross it? I ain't no snitch. But some people do. Some people keep it, it's already cheating anyway, emotionally. But some people still keep it right there. They stay in that range where they could call it platonic. You feel me? Let's roll.
I say take your woman out of the workforce and you don't have to worry about it.
That's why I said don't have them work. Why is the woman working?
I think
I
these
just
factories, oh, sorry, why we have
no, go
so
ahead,
many
nigga.
like broken homes though, like especially from like back in the day when they first started opening up the factories and stuff, and people are moving from the south up here. They were sleeping around with their work wives. I think that's why so many broken homes, to be honest.
I just think that trust is just out the fucking window at this point.
Facts.
Now y'all messy YouTube panelists.
Yeah.
And I'll be trying to
What's a
respect these
YouTube
married
analyst?
women, and they won't even let you. Because I remember I went to my high school reunion, and she had a ring on her finger. You know what? We had our little weekend. I was like, I see you in 10 years. And she said, it don't have to be 10 years. And I
Yeah.
was like, you dirty
I think
hoe.
most married people cheat.
Say that again, Molly.
Yeah. I was like, you dirty
I think
hoe.
most married people cheat.
Say that again, Molly.
Dang.
I think most married people cheat.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Let's talk about some real shit. Let's talk about some real shit. She said she think most married people cheat. JD said, hold on. Ash said, when you spend a lot of time with a person, you will find some kind of attraction. Yep. JD said, hey, if it's work from home, it's all right. There you go. Remedy. Bro came through with a solution. Work from the crib. Get the bread from the crib. Bro came through with a solution. I feel that. But I was gonna say, Molly just said she think most married people cheat. Listen, y'all. Let's have a real conversation, because we gotta crack these codes, and sometimes we have to get a little uncomfortable, ladies and gentlemen. Listen to me. Let's just do a hypothetical. Let's say these two people get married at 30, and both of them are gonna live to 83 years old and beyond, right? Both of them. Who knows which one of them gonna pass first? But they get married at 30 years old. Both of them are the same age. They get married at 30. They're gonna spend a minimum of 53 years together. 5 decades and some loose change. Y'all think two fairly attractive people, through the ups and downs and the rigors of the plights and the fights and the stumbles and the employment issues and the struggles and the loss of life and all the things that you're going to experience through 53 years in a relationship with the same person, you think neither of the two, y'all think that couple, let's not even put it on the man or the woman, you think that couple on average, just by and large, is going with a clean track record of no cheating? 53 years. Y'all think that? Y'all think that? It's not happening. It's not happening, chat. 53 years. Now, if both of y'all mud ducks, you know how a couple look like they belong together. Both of them look like the only two that like each other in the world. They ain't got to worry about nobody cheating on nobody. They don't have any other options. We all we got. But if you got two good looking folks, temptation is every day, all day, around the corner. You know what I mean? I think the best bet going into marriage is to take the focus off of infidelity. Ash say I'm preaching. She said absolutely not. Yeah, they're not going 53 years with a clean record. And we can even narrow it down to just things that are considered cheating that don't even consist of following through with it. You know, women use men for so many different things. Men use women for so many different things. The men that have the ability to, because there's more women that can manipulate men than there are men that can manipulate women. Small percentage of men have the ability to have women wrapped around their fingers. Small percentage of men. Large percentage of women can manipulate men. Y'all let me know if y'all agree or disagree with that, chat. Let me know. I just said something. But to get back to the point that I was going to say before the manipulation piece of it is that, damn, I think I might have lost my point, chat. I got off on a damn tangent. But what was I saying, y'all? Somebody help me. Because I wanted to finish. Oh, we was trying to say, even regardless of which sex is responsible for it, damn, I lost it, y'all. Fuck. It'll come back to me. But yeah, man. I think that you always gonna have to worry about somebody stepping out and doing. Oh yeah, I was saying which it don't matter which sex it is that steps out through the 53 years. You can even narrow it down to stuff that's considered cheating. Like a woman might use a guy to be like her flirting buddy, right? I found it. I remember now. A woman might use a guy to be like her flirting buddy or something. You know what I'm saying? Like the work husband, right? But she keep it platonic. She never let this guy touch her. But they flirt, they friendly, they cool. You know what I mean? Or it might be a situation where a guy is a work husband at his job and he flirty, he friendly, he cool. You know what I'm saying? He keep it, you know, at an arm's reach, but he never reach out and touch. You know what I'm saying? Like that's cheating, yo. If you married, that's cheating, champ. Your companion would not be okay if they had a hidden camera in the cut and could be. They wouldn't be cool with it. So y'all let me know if that's cheating or not. Ash said the bigger question is what percentage gets emotionally involved. That's tough. What percentage gets emotionally involved? That's a tough one. I ain't gonna lie to you. That is a very tough one. Cause you gotta say this isn't a 1-for-1, right? The percentage isn't going to be the same for men and women, right? Is it fair, chat? Is it fair to separate men and women on this one? When you ask the question of when it comes to cheating, what percentage of people get emotionally involved? Is it fair to say that it's different for men and women? Or am I, you know, a sexist or something like that? I just want to be safe with y'all. You know, I don't want any trouble. Talk to me, chat. Because I think with women, their cheating is going to be a bit more emotional. They're more emotional in general. Is that fair to say? And then like with the fellas, it could be something where, you know, he just tickling his ego, making sure his ego getting a little fix. You know, this dude's married, but he want to feel like he still got it. You know, if he ever had to go back to play in the streets is calling. You know what I'm saying? He trying to, you know, do a little dance with his ego. But that's a great question, Ash. I appreciate that. Let's see what else they talk about. Then we're gonna move on, y'all, because we almost spent 30 minutes on the reaction. Let's see what else they talking about real quick. And then we're gonna move on. Let's go.
Why you say that, Molly?
The most single people are married men. I just think most married
So you
people
think
cheat.
that most
in
married
this
men
day and
cheat?
age.
You think most married men cheat, Molly?
Molly's a gem. What is Carrie
I think
singing?
it's degrees to cheating, but I think a lot of them act single.
You think a lot of
Carrie
married
ain't
men
here,
is
nigga. She's on
operating like
PTO.
they single?
Yes.
Singing back in the day.
I think they are more single than single
Back in
men.
the day.
Wow.
Wait.
Okay.
Hold on.
Okay.
Let me mind this out.
She wilding. She says she thinks married men act more single than single men. She's wilding. Listen, we're gonna move on from this because we've gotten off of the topic about the careers completely. We got a comment. JD said, no plight. Why can't couples just start as friends? That's where relationships build. It's the need to have more in a relationship which throws couples to the curve. Emotions, haha, fake news, now bonds. I feel that. Ash said, yeah, that's true, especially if it's a problem in the marriage. Women need the emotional and the attention. And then she said, Ash also said, especially if they're not getting it from home. Yeah. I think that's where a lot of it happens too, because oftentimes, depending on the career path and things like that, people will spend more time at their jobs than they spend at home sometimes, you know? And then if the time they spend at home, it's rough at home, and then they're spending more time at the job, which doesn't give them time to fix home, and it also doesn't feel good at home. I think that's where you enter those windows of vulnerability. And then if you got somebody that's already kind of in the wings, that spells trouble. You know, the devil's doing a two-step. You know what I'm saying? The devil is doing a two-step. So yeah, I mean, I think everybody got to be aware. I don't think anybody cheats on accident, but to say that, you know, you will go up to that's why you take those vows, right? That's why the people who get married, that's why you take those vows, right? You take them because throughout the course and the span of a lifetime, whatever that is. So, like, again, I just gave an example of a couple getting married at 30 and both people living to 83 years old or longer. So they got 53 years in front of them, right? Most couples, period, in this Western culture that stand up there and take them vows, they not getting through 53 years with a completely clean slate, whether it's one, the other, or both. So that's why you take those vows, because you're supposed to persist through some of the bullshit that may come about. Y'all got it. We got, but these are the things these are the realistic. Ash said 100%. She also said facts. These are the things that, these are the things that have to be normal to discuss, because there's so many people shopping the market for a fairy tale. And that's how you end up getting in your own way. But we're going to move on, y'all. We're going to move on. Hell of a reaction video. Shout out to Anton Daniels in the gang. Let's do a little quick little music break, man. Let's roll. Yeah. About to cross over into the question of the day. We got a good one, y'all. Chat 333 if you with me. Let's go. Ash, I see your question. I'm coming to you for chat Q&A on this one, okay? We got Q&A. Stick with me.
Extra. This shit is hard. I done came up, now I get what I like. Come to the pie, get the pick of my slice. Know it's a problem when I step outside. You better be happy your chick ain't my type. Know that you broke and we know you can't fight. You don't wanna throw no lefts and rights. Swoop down like a hawk, I can take it in stride. I know when a dog don't bite. I know when it's really a wolf. She ain't yours if she can get took. Don't do no fishing, but stay on the boat. Somehow I still got your on the hook. Taking your queen cause you move like a
All right. We ain't gonna do too much with the music. Let's do it. All right, so we moving into the question of the day. Ash just threw a question up. She said 333. Hey, we locked in. She said, so let's do it. I got time. Ash said, so let's spark some outrage. Is it logical for a person to be with one person forever? That's that bullshit right there. Yeah. You want trouble today. All right, so let's do it. Is it logical for a person to be with one person forever? See, okay, I'm gonna answer it like this. I think that it's logical to do so. It's illogical to believe that it's going to be normal to do so sin-free. That's what I believe, that it's illogical. And I think that's why the vows were created. Because the understanding that the flesh is weak and that men, as in mankind, both men and women, are prone to sin. And so you're going to have to withstand something. Some marriages don't have infidelity issues at all, but they have other things they deal with. And that's why those vows are important for those that get married and take those vows. That's why they're so important. You got to persist through something. But do I think that it's logical for a person to be with one person forever? Yeah, I think there's logic in it. It just depends on what your logic is in alignment with. Now, do I think that it's natural? No. I believe that women, if we just follow nature, right? So now I'm not speaking from my opinion. I'm speaking from my understanding of our bodies and our spirituality, right? Women are designed to latch on to a man. They're designed to do so. I think it would be just biologically incorrect to say that that's not true. And then men are designed to be able to spread their seed and be able to, populate their pride or their tribe or their community at once. They can have 4 women bearing children at once, right? They can do that. We're designed like that. Does it mean that it's ideal for all societies to operate in that capacity? No. But if we're just having a conversation about nature, it's very much natural for the man to have a desire for variety, for more reasons than just lust as well, which also isn't safe to discuss. Joe Jet said 333. What up, Joe? Yes, sir. Ash said 333. Yes, Lord. Let's go. And then Ash said, every marriage I know has had infidelity issues. It's not natural to be with one person, but I get it. Marriage has designed for moral aspect. Yeah, and for sociological like structure. You know what I mean? It has that for structure too. But yeah, you're absolutely right. But you touched on what I said. The difference between, is it logical and is it natural, right? You can have some logic that's in alignment with the one man, one woman concept, but nature and the way our bodies are structured, that's why men have to fight so hard to be monogamous, especially if they're a man who is ripe, of the ripe choosing, right? So women are largely, even in nature, let's move off of men and move to animals, right? The male lion that has the biggest mane and the most hair and the big fiercest and the most massive and intimidating presence and the confidence and stuff like that, that's the one that the lionesses gravitate to. And if he pull up and fight the other man that was already there and beat his ass, all the lionesses rolling with him. It's natural selection, natural order. So it's a dominance thing. And that's why women are within their rights to say they want men that are taller or a man that is more fit or a certain way, because it makes them feel more confident and safe out with this person and stuff like that. Like there's an element of nature and that isn't rooted in superficiality to that attraction. So it all makes sense to me. JD said having kids is solid, but the kids' needs are tearing the couples apart. Is not taught to connect with the kids. Who should have to teach to connect with kids though? Because when people create kids, let's talk about that. When people create kids, you know, why should they have to be taught to connect with the kids that they decided to bring into the world? That's kind of crazy. Now, the best practices to connect with the kids or being taught ways to be more efficient parents by the elders in the family and stuff like that, for sure. But to have a mind or the intentions or the heart to want to connect with the kids, even if you're going about it, inefficiently, that shouldn't have to be taught, in my opinion. Let's see. I'm trying to keep up with the chat. JD says, logic is never the best thing for figuring out your partner's reasoning, seasoning. You're not a mind reader. If couples would open up from time to time, so hall pass, in parentheses, we could see what does it say? Let me scroll down. We could see what they can take. Okay. To connect with each other with the kids. Okay. Yeah, I don't know about the hall pass thing though. I think that understanding reality, I think that understanding boundaries, and I also think that understanding, if you have an understanding of those two things, all right, we finna be together forever. I don't plan on doing nothing crazy, but I don't know how I'm gonna feel in 15 years. Respect. Okay, she says the same. I don't plan on doing anything outside of this. I don't know how I'm gonna feel in 13 years. You know what I mean? On a random Wednesday night after happy hour. You get what I'm saying? So we don't know what's to come, right? But y'all signing up for life with each other. So off rip, you need to be coming in the door with some grace. Off rip. Because you're not gonna be perfect and you're not infallible and vice versa. So I think that we got to get back to thinking realistically if people gonna start sustaining their relationships. Because like a lot of times when people explain what their irreconcilable differences were, the shit be reconcilable as hell. And then the baby's dealing with it. Ash says sometimes kids bring the parents closer, especially when it comes to discipline. For sure. I think kids are a good way for a man who don't have no nuts in his house. Like, you know, he's having a hard time. His woman kind of runs the house and he has a desire, because there's no man in that position that enjoys it, at least not that I know of. They kind of want to get their respect, but oftentimes once you dealing with a woman who doesn't respect you, but y'all locked in for whatever reason, because why would a woman be locked in with you if she doesn't respect you? But it happens. But if you're a man who's voiceless in this house or don't have no balls in this house, I think a good way to earn your woman's respect or to gain it, and for her to start kind of wanting to be more submissive to you and listen to you, is her watching you deal with your kids. Some dudes, if you're a simp out there and you struggling with getting your household back, for lack of a better term, do it through the kids. Be strict with the kids, be disciplined with the kids, have the kids working out with you, get you some muscles, you know what I'm saying? Start taking up a whole bunch of manly shit. And when you tell the kids to do something and they listen to you like this, and she tell the kids to do something and they offer her resistance, it's gonna make her look at you a little different. That's just some advice to y'all. I seen somebody successfully gain respect from a woman who didn't respect them before. It wasn't through my personal experience. Because if a woman don't respect me, I'm just not dealing with it. I ain't proving shit. I'm not gaining or earning or none of that shit. I'm gone. Fuck you talking about. I'm too handsome for all that shit. I got real options, not this fake shit y'all talk about. I got real options. I'll get the fuck on your ass. Yeah. All right, y'all. Let's move into the question of the day. We never got to it. I appreciate y'all chat for all the interaction, man. Let's go. Question of the day. Y'all ready? All right. How much do love languages matter? And what role do they play in breakups? How much do love languages matter? And what role do they play in breakups? So I say this. Look, I know people who say they don't believe in love languages, which is wild to me. I believe that you can add categories to the love languages conversation, but not believing in love languages at all is kind of crazy. So how much do love languages matter? Understanding your partner's or your companion's love. I'm gonna use companion because it should be wife or husband, not partners, right? Like partnership is I think part of the problem these days. But yeah, your companion, understanding their love language can help you to know how to show them that you love them as much as you do. Here's the thing about love languages. This is why I'm gonna say they matter. They're important because you could have immense and intense love for your companion, right? But then, so fellas that's listening, you could love your companion to death, right? But because, love languages. She said love language. You don't know about love languages, Ash? You're not driving, are you? Do a quick. Okay, let me pull them up. I'm gonna pull them up real quick, y'all. Let's do it, chat. We got time. All right. Let me share my screen with y'all. Hold on. All right. Love languages. All right, y'all ready? Here we go. Y'all see that, chat? Love language types. The 5 main love languages are words of affirmation, quality time, receiving gifts, acts of service, and physical touch. Those are the 5 main love languages. I'm going to say them again. Words of affirmation, quality time, receiving gifts, acts of service, and physical touch. So those are the 5 love language types, chat, that you can have. And there's actually a test that you can take to see what your top love languages are and all of that. You know what I mean? So you can Google like a quiz. Some are longer and more detailed than others, or whatever the case may be. So but yeah, they're pretty straightforward or whatever. So understanding like your partner's love language. So for example, like you could love your partner to death, but you express your love through buying stuff. So you could be constantly showering this person with gifts and constantly showering them with flowers and constantly showering them with, you know, spa days and all of this, that, and the third, right? But she's a quality time person, and you work hard to make money to be able to afford all these nice things that you buy, but she doesn't feel like you value her or love her like that because you don't give her the amount of time that she needs from you for her to feel love. So understanding, I think love languages matter significantly because it can, the lack of understanding of love languages can create an inadvertent miscommunication. You understand? There are people who may feel that their partner doesn't love them because they're loving them in a way that they don't receive love. They could think that, like, somebody may be a person that needs physical touch, but then you haven't cuddled them in a month. You don't gently just walk up behind her and grip her hips or grip her waist. You just, you know what I'm saying, brush past her. You didn't got used to her. You taking her for granted, so to speak, or whatever the case may be. She won't feel love, but you feel like you showing love because y'all always around each other. You know? So yeah, love languages and understanding your partner's love language, it can help you as the person, whether you're the female or the male in the situation, be intentional with letting them know you love them. We got comments. JD said, do you see yourself in your person? If not, you haven't built shit. That's why it be so hard to break up. Y'all pick up each other's mannerisms, spirit, love languages. Facts. As said, if you don't have those, then what causes the divide? What you mean? If you don't have love languages? Everybody has love languages. There's something that you get out of having a companion that you couldn't get being on your own. And that's your love language. Whatever that is, whatever that amenity is to you, or that bonus, that plus that you get from having a companion that you don't get from being on your own, that's probably what your love language is. Joe Jet said, I agree with you, but I'm going to argue the opposite. Something attracted them to each other, and I'm going to say a love language isn't going to break the union. It's best to grow to love the person. Okay. So you answering the second part of the question too. What role do they play in breakups? Now, for that part, I have to say, like I said, I think I'm gonna stick with my guns on that though, Joe. I think that it can play a role in breakups because sometimes you have a person that genuinely feels like they're not being loved because they're trying to communicate, hey, I want you hear women say it, you hear men complain about certain things from their women. For a man might need a lot of intimacy, a lot of physical touch. He may need that, or some men. Me personally, I'm a words of affirmation guy. Hey, listen, make me feel like I'm the shit. Tell me I look good, tell me I smell good. Tell me you see my little bicep coming in. Yeah, gas me up. Because guess what? Talking to me like that before I go to do whatever I'm finna do for the day, you know, when I see that little PYT right there at the stove, I ain't even worried about that because I got something love my dirty draws. That's how I'ma feel. You feel what I'm saying? So I like words of affirmation personally. I like, you know, certain things like that. So it just depends on what you into. But guess what? If I'm with a woman that's a nymphomaniac, she just top-notch certified freakazoid, right? But no affirmations at all. No, like I come home, got a promotion, something like that. I share it. And she like, oh yeah, that's what's up. Nah, you the man, or them people she don't gas you at all. She don't put nothing in the engine. Don't put nothing in the engine. She'll ride with you though, but she don't gas you at all. Don't put nothing in the engine. I don't like that. I like mine to come with some pom-poms. Be a cheerleader. I like that shit. I'm open about it. Yeah. So I don't know. I think that it could make or break some shit. It could be a thing where you don't even get to the point where you get married. It could break you up at the relationship phase. What you think about that, Joe Jet? Talk to me, bro. JD said, love is war. Just send certain shit in the overhaul. What you mean, bro? You got to elaborate. That's wild. That's wild as hell. We on the questions of the day right now, chat. What Instagram talking about? Let me see. Instagram, they just be sliding and snooping, man. We finna stop going live on Instagram. They slide through, they don't speak. Seldom they speak. They just come through snooping. But we here though. Hey, if y'all don't follow me on Instagram, make sure y'all go run up the numbers over there too. At the classic codes, same thing all over the place. But yeah, man, I think that's my answer on the question of the day for that. I think that it can play a role in breakups, but I don't think that it's significant enough to say, oh, love languages and the misunderstanding of love languages is like a major reason why most couples don't make it type shit. I definitely don't think it's that deep, but I could see why it could be one of the straws before you get to the one that break the camel's back. I could see how that could be one of the straws. It could be an irritant or an agitation. Joe Jess said, yeah, I think we got a comment. Joe Jess said, yeah, I think it won't make it to a marriage. Right. You have to build a deeper bond through love language. That's what I'm saying. Because I know me, for example, you know, I may feel like I'm showing love to a woman because I like affirmations, right? I might be giving her hella affirmations, but she need time or she need, you know, physical touch. If I'm not understanding of that or receptive to it, then I'm not meeting her where she need to feel love. So I'm thinking I'm loving the shit out of her and she ain't feeling it at all. It's gonna create a pain point. It's gonna create a pain point. So I think understanding love languages, I think that shit's super important. But I do feel like you could add a couple of criteria. Like the 5 love languages said, I'm not gonna pull it back up, but I'll read them. The 5 love languages said words of affirmation, quality time, receiving gifts, acts of service, and physical touch. I guess those are a good 5 if you want to just make umbrellas. You know, if you just want to open up umbrellas that will encompass anything else, I guess those are a good 5, but maybe you could think of some other things too that could be considered a love language outside of those parameters. What up to everybody in the chat? 333, man, if y'all with me. Shout out. We in here on the evening, man. We about to move over into the code language conversation, and then we're going to get into some more chat Q&A. We had a little impromptu Q&A a second ago. The chat getting active tonight. I love it. I love it. I love it. But yeah, let's get off of the question of the day, man. We finna shift over into the code language conversation. So yeah, so the code language conversation, we talking about the wholeness of life. I think that is very important because we in a time where there's just a lot of different types of people, and more so than ever, we've become close to being like kind of a godless society, so to speak, meaning like the attendance in the church is down or whatever across the whole country and stuff like that. And so what that means is you have a lot of different subcategories of things going on. You got the spiritual folks, you got, you know, the woke people, you got, you know, people venturing off into more different religions than the ones they was raised in. You got all of that, right? So life has a lot of different ways to offer us all perspective. That's all I'm saying. This ain't about to be a religious conversation, but it has a lot of different ways to offer us all perspective. But I think what's important is to have a certain level of understanding of like the fact that no matter what path you go, no matter what you choose to be important to you or what you choose to give and devote a lot of your energy and time towards with the time that you have in life, you're still going to have a full experience here. There's no way around having a full experience here. And what I mean by the wholeness of life is that no matter what paths you take, no matter what areas you excel in and what areas you struggle and fail in or never become successful in, you're still going to have an overarching set of experiences that we all have in common. All of us will experience wins. All of us will experience losses. The scales just look different, or the idea or the concept looks different in each one of our worlds, but we all will experience wins and losses. All of us will experience ups, downs, highs, lows, and everything in between. Mediocrity, being mundane. All of us will experience procrastination. All of us will experience inspiration, motivation. These are things that are a part of the human experience and the wholeness of life, you know? So I just think that this code language is important because sometimes we get into spaces where we're growing and we're trying to become better versions of ourselves or better people in totality or better at a specific craft or learn how to make more money. All these different things. We focus on those things and we feel like, you know, the scale is leaning in a certain direction when it's never going to lean too far in one direction or the other. You can master making a grip of money. You're still going to have problems. You can master your health, but you still have to experience losing others. You can, you know, like life, it's all encompassing. And so our job is to learn how to feel and continue. Our job is to learn how to understand the inevitable and not fight against the experience that is also a part of life just because it's inconvenient or because it doesn't feel good to think about or it doesn't feel good to go through. Like, I understand there's people who are pessimists and there are people who are optimists. Both are unrealistic. To be 100% positive all the time is just as impossible as it is to be 100% negative all the time, because duality exists, and no matter what path you take, there's always going to be pros and cons. So when the pros are proing, the euphoria is inexplicable. It's what we do it for, right? It's why we went on that vacation. It's why we did that scuba dive, or it's why we did that bungee jump. It's why we, that euphoria, that high, that, you know, that feeling that you get when the pros of life are kicking in, it's unmatched. But on the other side, when the cons are conning, the lows are deep as well. And that's why, like, for men, it's important to practice stoicism, because we have a job. We have to be leaders. We have to be strong. Even when everybody else is weak, there has to be even if the king is weak on the inside, he must present. So these are things that can allow us to be that way. These thought processes that I'm sharing with y'all, I'm just letting the stream of consciousness flow. These thought processes that I'm sharing with y'all, this is what can allow you to get into a space where you can practice stoicism as a man. And as far as women, these thought processes can get you to a space where you emotionally regulate better and you truly do become an emotionally intelligent woman, which would help a lot of our Western women who have admittedly, by themselves and by us men, become a bit harder than the women of yesteryear. And a lot of them also have admitted they would like to be softer. Some of these thought processes and embracing the totality of what all comes with life, it gets us to a place where we could be a bit more balanced, and it allows you to regulate. So I feel like this conversation was important. What prompted this conversation is because I actually lost my dog that I had for 11 years on this past Saturday, which is why I hadn't been live streaming with you guys. I had to get my strength back. Toughest thing I ever had to do. But compartmentalization and some of the codes that I share with y'all, and stoicism and practicing stoicism, understanding meditation and breathing techniques, is why I've been able to come on this stream and get through it with you guys without being like a wreck. Yesterday, I wanted to go live for y'all, but it would have been impossible. I'm just being honest. But by sticking to the codes and practicing the same stuff I preach to y'all, I'm able to sit here and at least be able to speak for this long and get through the live with y'all. But yeah, so I think the wholeness of life and understanding what it is and what all it encompasses, though when tough times hit, the pain is still going to hurt. The understanding of it all can get us back to being centered and help us to continue on like we need to. So we're going to move into the chat Q&A. That's all I got for the code language, y'all. Appreciate that, JD. Appreciate that. Long live Sebastian. For sure, for sure. For sure, for sure. But yeah, we're going to move into the chat Q&A. Y'all got any questions for me? It's warm in the studio today, y'all. I'm about to break a sweat in here. Talk to me, chat. Give y'all 3 minutes to drop some questions. Then I'm gonna tap out. Talk to me, chat. What questions y'all got? It could be about anything too. Need to cut the fan back on in here. I ain't want the background noise though for y'all. Instagram, what up? Shout out to everybody sliding through on IG. We about to end the live on IG though. Yeah, we done on IG. He said, long live Sebastian Bach. Live forever on. Yes, sir. Yeah, my dog was really him. The streets gonna miss him for sure. The streets gonna miss him all the way for sure. All the way. But yeah, if y'all don't have no questions for me, I'll give y'all 2 more minutes to tap in. But if y'all don't have no questions for me, we gonna call it one. Chat. We did have some Q&A in the middle of the live, so y'all let me know. Shout out to everybody that slid through. Shout out to JD. Shout out to Joe Jet. Shout out to Ash. Shout out to everybody that came through that couldn't be in the comments. The people that's on the road driving and just listening. Shout out to everybody that slid through on Instagram. Y'all know what it is. I tell y'all what, man. Make sure y'all hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. If you have, do me a favor. It still don't cost anything at all. If it don't cost no money. Share my page with somebody who you think will like my content. If you got a friend or something like that that's like-minded, that need another YouTube channel that's putting out consistent work to tap in with, make sure they they get a hold of my content. It'll mean a lot to me. We building, we almost monetized. We on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Then we're gonna hit 2K and we're gonna keep going one by one. We're gonna walk everybody down. You know what I mean? We're gonna walk everybody down. We got a question. Why, when we find an alien artifacts, do we deny the proof of God's protection this far? Simply put, to answer this, we've been conditioned largely, except for those who are truth seekers and really, chose the path of enlightenment. We've been largely conditioned to be faith-based people. I don't want to say that's a bad thing, because in totality, it's not a bad thing. But what happens is we've been conditioned to believe wholeheartedly in things that we cannot prove and may not ever see. And we have been conditioned to question shit that's right in front of us. So what it allows for your whatever you want to call them, your oppressor, your enemy, whatever you want to call them, the puppeteers, it allows for them to stand right in front of you and tell you that they're not here. Yeah, I'm not right here. So yeah, you could find alien artifacts, alien skeletons, unless a person is the one that discovered it themselves and scraped the dust off of it and found it themselves. They'll tell you it's AI. They'll tell you it's CGI. They'll tell you, it's not real. So it is what it is. That's just what it is. Most people have been conditioned to believe what they cannot see with their whole heart and believe what they can prove, after asking 2,000 questions. And then it's still like, I don't know. But good question, man. I appreciate that, J-Rock. Yeah, man, I'm going to call it quits on this one. We right at the hour mark. We just going to keep it clean, y'all. Make sure y'all do one thing for me, though. Stick to the codes. We got another classic.
Classic codes, I ain't taking it slow. Forgive me, Lord, I woke up in that mode. Whether the